then when your world just got a little more difficult. Stepping into multiplying by 2-digit numbers. And I will show you, let's have an example here. 43 times 12. Okay. Now, when we do multiplication problems, you guys kind of do a shortened, condensed form of really what's happening there. Okay? When you are multiplying 43 by 12, what we do when we do our problem is we do this, and I'll show you. We really do it like this. We do 43 times 2, and to that we add what 43 times 10 is. Sorry, that plus. Okay, because 40, what does 2 and 10 add up together to give you? This 12. Okay. If you just have 43 times 2, you could do that, right? 43 times 2 is 86, right? And if you do 43 times 10, you can do that. It is, bring down the 0, 43, 430. That means 43 times 12 is putting those two together. You take 86 and add 430 to it, you end up with 516. Now you don't do this separately like this. We combine it and we do the whole thing kind of all together over here. Okay? And you've probably done double-digit multiplication, so this is no big surprise to you. What's the first thing that you do when you see this problem here? The first thing is you multiply by the bottom right number, which means the first thing you do is you multiply by this 2, which is what we did here. What is 2 times 43? 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4, I get that same 86 that I got here. Look, it's all well and good. Okay. After step number 1, step number 2, when you move over, you must start with a 0. That means this, my next step, after I multiply by that through, I put a 0 down here. And the reason you put that 0 down there is because you are multiplying not by a 1, but by a 10. When you multiply by 10, you start with that 0, which is there. And then step 3 is you multiply by the next number right. Is that right? Which doesn't seem to be right in half the time. So once I multiply by the 2, I got my 86. I put a 0 down. Then I multiply 43 by this 1. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 4 is 4. And then Mr. Step 5, guess what you do? You add them together. And you're going to get the same exact number I got there. Just it only took you this much space as opposed to all of this over here. And it's the same algorithm. Remember what algorithm is? Way you do something for no matter what the double-digit multiplication is. Let's say it is 75 times 13. You always start with the ones place. You always multiply by this one first. 3 times 5 is 15. You're going to have to carry, if need be. 3 times 7 is 21, plus that up there is 22. Here's where most people go wrong. You can't forget the next critical step, which is to start with a 0. You put a 0 underneath there because this is in the tens place, not in the ones place. And then you multiply through by the 1. 1 times 5, 1 times 7. And then you add those two numbers together, you get 5, 7, and 9. 975. Again, if you struggle with your multiplication tables, you are going to struggle with this because now you just doubled the number of basic facts that you do when you do it. It's not just single multiplication, it's double digit. How about this one? Let me give you one to try. How about 38 times 21? 38 times 21. Do that problem for me, please. 38 times 21. Follow that same algorithm. Follow that same way to do things. See. Oh, come up with. Start of the Revelations. Hopefully, this is what you came up with. Start bottom right with the 1. 1 times 8 is 8, and 1 times 3 is 3. Now, because this is in the tens place, I start with that 0. 2 times 8 is 16. Carry the 1 over. 2 times 3 is 6, plus that 1 I moved over there at 7. Adding those things together, I get 798. But I don't want you again to forget what two problems, when I did all this, what did I actually do? I took 38 times 2, got my answer. And then to that, I added what 38 times 20 was. Oops, sorry. That's where my 2 rows of numbers. This was 38 times 1. This was 38 times 20. And then I put them together. Never forget what you're doing there. And it follows the same pattern. Triple digit, quadruple, 18 billion times 17 billion, whatever that is there. And, well, no.